The world is changing fast, and Africa has been playing an increasingly important role in this new global stage. In this video, we'll explore how Africa, with its vast wealth of resources and strategic geopolitical position, is becoming a key player in the power dynamics of the 21st century. If you want to understand how the continent's future could impact the rest of the world, you're in the right place. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our videos. Hit that like button and of course drop a comment below telling us what you think could be Africa's biggest challenge or opportunity in the global arena. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Africa is undeniably one of the most resource-rich continents, from valuable minerals like gold, diamonds and cobalt to vast oil reserves. These resources have placed Africa at the center of international disputes, with global powers such as China, the United States and the European Union investing heavily in African countries. Additionally, the demand for materials crucial to emerging technologies, like lithium batteries and electric cars, only increases Africa's strategic relevance. But do these investments bring more benefits or challenges to the continent? On one hand, foreign investments promise economic growth, infrastructure and job opportunities. However, many question whether the wealth generated is being properly distributed among the local population, or if it only benefits multinational corporations and political elites. The issue of relying on resource-based economies is also critical. What happens when these resources run out? How can Africa prepare for this inevitable transition? While this question remains unanswered, Africa's role in global trade continues to grow. And as the demand for these materials skyrockets, the continent's geopolitics become increasingly complex, paving the way for the next essential factor in the global landscape. In recent years, the African continent has been strengthening its diplomatic and trade relations with various global powers. China, for instance, is now Africa's largest trading partner, heavily investing in infrastructure, mining, and even telecommunications. This not only strengthens China's presence on the continent, but also creates new development opportunities for African countries. However, this relationship is often viewed with skepticism, especially by those who believe it could lead to excessive dependence on China. On the other hand, the United States and the European Union have been working to maintain their own strategic alliances in the region, offering alternative investment and economic cooperation opportunities. The competition for influence on the continent creates an interesting dynamic. Some see these partnerships as growth opportunities, while others perceive them as new forms of economic colonialism. After all, who's really in control of these negotiations, and who stands to benefit? With so many global powers eyeing Africa, it's clear that the continent holds a strategic position on the global chessboard. And with the growing complexity of these relations, the next point to discuss is the political impact this creates on African leadership. The influence of international organizations on African politics is another key factor in this new geopolitical landscape. Institutions like the African Union, AU, and the United Nations, UN, play crucial roles in issues such as security, development, and international cooperation. The African Union, in particular, has been working to promote greater integration among the continent's countries, seeking regional solutions to problems such as armed conflicts, humanitarian crises, and climate change. However, the challenge of uniting more than 50 nations with different histories and interests is not always straightforward. Additionally, organizations like the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank continue to provide financial and economic support to various African nations. But this support often comes with strict conditions, sparking heated debates over sovereignty and local control. Austerity policies imposed by these institutions, for example, often provoke resistance and protests, especially when they directly impact the most vulnerable populations. With so many external influences at play, Africa strives to balance its own interests with global demands. But how can the continent ensure that its needs are met without compromising its autonomy? This dilemma leads us to another crucial point: the rise of internal political forces and their impact on Africa's future. As the world watches Africa with great interest, the continent's internal political forces are undergoing significant transformations. Many African countries have experienced changes in the political landscape, with new leaders, parties, and movements emerging to challenge the status quo. The push for greater popular representation along with the desire for independence from global powers, is driving a new wave of leadership that advocates for policies more aligned with the interests of the African people. However, this rise has not been without conflict. In some countries, transitions of power have been marked by political instability, coups, and even civil wars. These events have drawn the attention of the international community, which sometimes intervenes to prevent further escalation. Nevertheless, internal solutions such as national dialogues and political reforms have been crucial in ensuring greater stability and progress. As these new political forces gain strength, Africa continues to move toward a more independent position on the global stage. But how might these internal changes shape the continent's geopolitical stance? This leads us to our final point, where we'll explore Africa's future and its role in the global balance of power. With everything we've covered so far, Africa is positioning itself as a vital piece in the global balance of power. Its role in providing essential resources, its strategic alliances with global powers, and its constantly evolving internal dynamics suggest that the continent's future will be crucial in shaping the coming decades. More and more African nations are seeking to strengthen their political and economic autonomy while engaging in global discussions about trade, security, and the environment. Sustainable development initiatives are a clear example of how Africa is shaping its future. With a rapidly growing population, the pressure on natural resources is immense, and the need for innovative solutions is urgent. Several African countries are leading initiatives in renewable energy and sustainable agriculture, attempting to balance growth with environmental preservation. This movement not only attracts the attention of international investors, but also positions Africa as a model for preparing for global challenges ahead. In doing so, the continent is increasingly solidifying its importance in global geopolitical discussions. And while the world watches Africa's next steps with great anticipation, the path to the future remains open to countless possibilities. Africa's journey on the global stage is far from over, and the opportunities this continent presents will be debated and competed for in the years to come. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts on Africa's role in the future of geopolitics. We're excited to hear what you think about the impact these changes will have on the global stage. See you in the next video.